Spike it up's holding on. Trigger, you've done it, you champion. Spike it up wins. Goes to the lead. John's going to take out the Dudley Justice. And that's Mr. Ali. It could be. He's fighting back. Oh, look at him. Spike it up does it.
Yes, welcome to Mobile Rolling, episode 3, season 2. Just the one helper on the panel today. Jimmy, welcome today, mate. And nice to see a bit more space here without the attractive Liz. And your 2IC and Lockie not in today either. So apparently they're doing some work on Monday for us at the
outside
track.
work.
Yes,
which
would be great. Just a little bit of news, mate. We've got him on later on the show, Jack Bashara.
Yes.
And he's found another winner for us that he said would be even money. He's beaten me again in the tipping, which is starting to do my head in. But as I said to him Sunday morning, that a blind monkey could have found that winner on Sunday.
Well, we all thought futures was a good thing. But so, look, by the time we get to our segment with Jack, I'll come up with a few ideas about how we're going to change that.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
Yeah. So tune in there.
Yeah, because I really am out of form.
Well, you're not the tipping sensation you were last season.
I pumped up Jake Webster last week, and he's a guest, and his horses run tailed off, and I said it was a good thing.
And we've got Jake's father here, Ronnie, to confirm that. So no doubt you'll throw a question at him about why the horse didn't perform.
Absolutely. Okay. Hopefully there's a big issue there that they can fix up very quickly and sort of throw that one away. Tuesday nights.
Yes.
What do you reckon?
Now, I'm not really sure about it. As far as business, when I used to run a bicycle store, I was store manager for JT Cycles. Tuesday was the worst day of business all the time. So I'm not excited about a Tuesday as such on face value. So
you're talking turnover-wise there, that
maybe that will be a concern.
Yeah.
But after I had a chat with David Tewin, the operations manager of Harness Racing SA, I said, why are we racing on a Tuesday? Because I had so many people asking me, why are we racing Tuesday, not Monday? And I didn't know the answer, so I'll find out from David. Anyway, David said that it was really a suggestion from Sky Channel to try a Tuesday on Sky One. On a Tuesday night to see how it goes and see how the turnover goes, and to see whether Harness Racing SA are happy with the turnover on a Tuesday, where they may use that option down the track when they can't get Sky One on a Monday. So I'm assuming when they throw in extra gallop meetings or whatever, that they might have to shift Globe Derby from Sky One to Sky Two. So Sky Channel, of course, are linked up with Tab, and Tab did the right thing. They threw on jackpots on the first 4 races as far as trifectas and exactas were concerned, and also they threw on a jackpot for the quadrella, which built up to a good prize money. So as far as the win and place turnover compared to the previous Monday at Globe Derby, Similar. I don't think there was an increase, maybe a slight decrease in the win and place and trifecta turnovers that were jackpots.
Well, that's interesting, because my thoughts were that, to me, the Tuesday night meetings interstate are pretty good, which hopefully made people have more of a bet at Globe Derby to coincide with the 3 meetings going on at the same time. So I'll be interested to see if it does. If we get more, there may be things going behind the scenes that we don't know about with the reasons why, but we'll find out in due course, mate. But it's very interesting.
Time will tell. It'll be a matter of Harness Racing SA assessing that. The other thing they've got to assess is the cost of having the lights on as well, compared to daytime. So there's all the different costs that they've got to build up to say, okay, are we getting better turnover from the Tuesday night compared to the Monday or not? You know. Maybe if Tab say, okay, we're going to give you extra jackpots if you race on Tuesday night, that might be enough to lure them, because it doesn't matter what you say, if the money's in the pool, the punters will have a go.
They will.
And that's been proven.
All right, mate. Well, we've got our first guest after the break. Paul Caballero is coming in, which will be fantastic to catch up with Cab and have a good chat. Back from his injuries, and the horse is back as well, so we look forward to having to chat about Cab and Culture King and his history.
Well, I don't know. I reckon we might get the tipping going before Paul, if that's okay.
We're going to do that.
I reckon. Get the tipping done.
Happy to go with you. You're the boss, mate.
I'm not the boss, you're the boss, but I reckon we'll do the tipping first.
All right.
We'll do Paul.
Anyway, we'll be back after the break.
We're located here at New Spot Motor Group, 2020 May North Road at Salisbury Park. They've got a magnificent array of vehicles here for you to look at. Paul Cavallaro will be able to help you out with his great team. They're good supporters of harness racing in South Australia. You go to Globe Derby, you'll see the New Spot Motor Group vehicle there, and there's plenty of vehicles here at Salisbury Park. So come and see the team at New Spot Motor Group. They'll look after you really well.
And welcome back to Mobile Rolling. Jimmy, we're joined by one of the very, very good guys of harness racing right now as our guest, and we welcome Paul Cavallaro to the table. How are you, mate?
Thanks. Good. Yeah, I'm really well, thanks. Thanks for having me.
No worries. And mate, 1,200 winners up until June 2014, and then the queue goes in the rack for a few years. Firstly, I want you to talk us through that and how tough a decision that was.
Look, it wasn't really a tough decision for me at the time. I had a young family, and I was heavily involved in the racing, and as you know, it's a 7-day-a-week job, and I had both my kids were into their sports, and my son was right into football, and I just wanted to spend a bit of time and watch them grow up. So at the time, it was, it's a pressure job. Horse racing, it can be if you let it get to you, and I just sort of had enough of it for a little while, and I wanted to get there and spend a bit of time with the kids, which I did, and probably that 5 years out of it was probably really good for me.
Yeah. I think the point that Paul makes is that as a driver, you go out there, you more than likely go out and do the right thing, but there's people out there that may not think that you've done the right thing, so their perception to your perception is different, and you can't keep everyone happy, and it's silly if you try to. It's something I was taught years and years ago. So you just go out and you do your best, and if you think you've done the right thing, that's okay. But people are the hard ones to please, not the horses.
No, the horses are the easy part. It is the people involved, but. Having said that, there's some great people involved in racing, and I've met some wonderful people through it. So whilst there's negatives on it, there's also positives, and it is a great sport to be involved in. So I've got no regrets for it, that's for sure.
Well, I met you way back in the 80s through connections of a very good mate of yours who's now passed away, but that to me was when I first realised that the Caballero family were pretty good people. And I also started to realise that way back then, not much has changed to today, because Cav was driving winner after winner on very good horses that were very, very well prepared, but the chance to knock him down or say that he's just on good horses and can't drive was there then, and it's probably there today when he's back with Culture King. And if you take the time to sit and have a look at Cav's record, there's none more impressive in South Australia. He's been a beauty, and I love talking to him, and I love seeing him back in the game now, because it was a waste for those 5 years. But you were a full-timer too, weren't you, Cav?
I was at the time,
That financial pressure was probably what
like I
played
said,
a part in it as well.
Yeah, young family, and they're expensive kids, Jimmy. They are expensive.
I've got to say, they cost you thousands, but they're worth millions. They're worth millions.
Exactly right. And I just wanted to make sure that I was there for them and watch it, because I know. If you look at the guys in Victoria that do it full time, the miles they cover and the amount of time they spend away, it wasn't for me.
Yeah. So we go to 2018. You wander back with a horse called Culture King.
Culture King is in front and doing it cushy. Chardonnay's trying to pick up a rack bell. She's battling on well. Chardonnay's lunging at a late for second prize, but doesn't get there. Culture King first. Second.
That immediately made us all sit up and
stand
take
up and
notice,
pay attention,
because he looked like a thoroughbred.
Yeah.
That's the look of Culture King, and I thought, well, if that doesn't get Cav excited, he's never coming back to the sport again. And he has been a terrific horse for you. And then you had your fateful night, Derby night with Danny, and great thing that the horse has come through seemingly unscathed, and he's back trialling and taken them by storm again. But your recovery in particular, how did that affect you immediately? Were you thinking, why did I come back, or I've just got to recover? And
no, I didn't think that at all, to be honest. It was something that we wanted to do. We've always had it. It's in your blood, as people say. I know it's an old cliche, but it's actually true. My wife loves racing, and she was probably really the main one that got me back into it. She wanted to get one, and at the time it was around the night of Wayville, and ran into so many people that I hadn't seen for years. I actually stopped even going to the races because I just didn't have the time to do it. And when I went back that night, we ran into so many people, and it was fantastic. It was a really good night, and they all said to me, if you ever get at one, let us know. We'd like to go in one. So sat there and had a bit of a think, and I sent them all a message. I said, I'm actually thinking about getting one. And it just sort of worked out well at the time that they had the ready-to-run sale on at Menangle.
Yeah.
And had a bit of a look through them. There was about 25 horses in there, but there was quite a few that I liked the look of. So a friend of mine, David Hastings, and I went over and had a look, and we watched this guy trial, and he was magnificent. He was just a beautiful looking horse, and I thought we can't buy him. He's going to be too expensive. And a couple of the ones that we did think we had the money for, we got blown out of the water there too. So just kept coming back to this guy and looking at him in the stable, and I just fell in love with him. And it was actually funny because Lance Holberton, he was one of the spotters there on the day, and he came up to me and he said, "You buy anything?" I said, "No." I said, "But there's one I want." And I said, "I can't get it." He goes, "Well, come and have a look." He said, "You just never know." So we went and had a talk to the guy, and went away, and he told us what he wanted for him, and we didn't have that. And I went on a holiday. I had a holiday booked, and we were up in Queensland. I could not stop thinking about this horse. I thought, so I've rang up everybody. I rang up my, actually on the sale day, my mother-in-law. She rang me up. She said, "What have you done?" Because she's spoken to my wife. And I said, "I haven't done anything yet." And she said, she wanted to know all about it. She said, "Well, I'm in."
Yeah.
So I said, "Okay." I said, "That's good." And then it just snowballed from there. We just had friends after friend, and they all wanted to go in and be involved. And luckily it just all happened. It was like it was meant to be, sort of thing. So
well, it's good you had those owners in cab, because by the time you got it home and to the races, I think it had grown to about 120,000 that you'd paid for it, hadn't it? Every
I
time
had
you
a lot
went
of
to the
rumours,
tross, it went up
but,
by 10 grand.
No, look, he was he ended up costing us, I think he was around 55.
Yeah, which is great.
Which was, you go and buy yearlings nowadays for that. So we thought he was worth every cent, because originally they wanted more for him, and it was just one of those things that we all, everybody that went in him, all got along really well. We spoke to the guy that had him, and he actually kept a share in him.
Yep.
And and it's just worked out really well.
Beautiful.
We had you on last season of the show leading into the Derby, and you had the visitors draw. You said, "We'll just see what happens." Well, none of us predicted what would have happened. I mean, you got a lot of air in the prang. I mean, you went up at the end, you hit the ground really hard. How's everything going? I mean, you mentioned that Lisa, your wife, wanted you to go back into the sport. Does she need counselling? Like she doesn't blame herself for this at all? No. It's just a race incident.
That's one of those things. I've had falls, heaps of falls over the journey, and never really had a real incident, to be honest. I might have cracked a bone here and there, but it was just minor. And this was just one of those things. It's nobody's fault. It was just a freak sort of accident, and unluckily I was on I'd made a run at the bell, and we had a fair head of steam up at that time, and couldn't really miss it, and got sort of flung into the air, and I can remember going up.
People thought I was being a really good bloke by jumping the fence, but I actually had a footy contract in my back pocket. I thought, if he can still jump like that, I'm signing him up, but he wouldn't talk to me. He wasn't interested.
No, well, I can remember going up, and I got up, and I thought, oh, geez.
This is going to hurt.
That's what I thought. Because it just kept going up after I thought that, and I thought, wow, this is not going to be good. And no, it wasn't good, but look, we're still here, and we're probably. I've got the horse back now to the trial stage, and those days are behind us. So hopefully, full steam ahead now.
Yeah. Well, mate, you're getting up in age as well. Like you're in your late 50s, and people probably haven't known enough about you. People know the Cavallaro name, but how about you just tell us some of the races that you've driven in and a couple that you've won, so that there's new people out there that say, "Gee whiz, this Cavallaro bloke has been around."
Oh well, like we've been really lucky over the years. Had some really good horses. I had probably the best horse I'd had up until now, I think, was Bonamax.
Yep.
My dad drove him a fair bit early days, but I did get onto him when he was a 3-year-old, and we won the Gawler Derby, beating a horse called Chokin, who was a superstar. And Bonamax was a horse that seriously, it was really hard to describe what you'd win races on that horse. I wasn't the greatest of drivers back in those days, and some might say I'm still not, but I did set him some tasks, and he just kept finding all the time. He was just one of those horses that was, he'd make the hair stand up on the back of your neck for some of the jobs that he did. Great horse. We had Lynn's Choice, who she won a heat into Dominion, and the Dullard Cup in Melbourne, and broke the Moonee Valley track record when she did it. Wow. It's Penetrate, he was a 2-year-old of the year. Elusive Fella was a 2-year-old of the year. There was a list of it, and I was lucky enough to drive a lot of my in-laws' horses too. Conti de Cristo, great horse. He was a fantastic old horse. And
how many did he win?
Well, I think he ended up winning something like 40 or 50 around the Globe Derby. Yeah. So I'm not sure how many it was all up, but he just pointed him forward out the gate, and he just did the rest. He was a great horse, brilliant gate speed, and he won the Kilmore Sprint on Kilmore Cup Day, beating, I think it was Sokiola that day. Right. And the Warp Drive, they were great horses at the time.
He won our SA Cup.
I remember being at Moonee Valley one night, and you had a drive there, and I'd only sort of just met you. And for me, watching races at Moonee Valley was bloody exciting. It was close to the track. So what about driving in it for the first time, mate?
Yeah, no, we were lucky, actually. I only had about 6 or 7 drives at Moonee Valley, and I think I won 5 of them. A mare called Tarmac, she won a race there. Elusive Fella won 3 in a row as a 2-year-old there. He won, I think it was a classic race as a 2-year-old. It was... Moonee Valley had a bit of an aura about it. You turned up there and it was a bit like the old Coliseum.
Amphitheatre type of atmosphere.
It was, and you'd be going around the parade ring, there's people up everywhere, and it had atmosphere, and even out on the track, you felt it. It was a special place, and I was lucky enough to be able to go around there and win a few there.
Yeah. Now there is a little rumour going around too, Cab, that a relation to Culture Kings wandered in the barn.
Yeah,
that's
true. Yeah, that's
really?
true. Yeah, we bought his full brother. He went through the Sydney yearling sale and was passed in, and we ended up buying him after. Right. And same group of people, and the owner again. He decided to stay in, and he's a big colt, strong-looking brute, but he's probably just going to take a little bit of time because he is so big. But he.
Just remember that Tarzan's brother drowned in a puddle, mate. So
yeah, well,
they don't always
look, we know that. We've been around long enough.
Thanks for the confidence.
I'm sure Cav will get the best out of this horse.
Oh, look, I hope so. He broke in really well, and he did a second preparation in New South Wales with the guy that had Culture King. Yeah. And very, very good comments about him. So, he's been back in work, I think, 3 weeks now from a spell. So this will be his 3rd preparation, but. Everything's sort of pointing to him looking okay at the moment, that's for sure. Really nice colt.
All right, Cav, well, we can talk forever, mate, so we're going to get you back on in a few weeks' time and continue part 2 with the Cavallaro story. Jimmy will be back after a break with another guest.
Yeah, looking forward to catching up with Ron Webster.
Fantastic.
See the boys down at Modry Battery Services. With over 40 years of experience in batteries, stocking the largest range in supercharged batteries with more power, longest life and battery warranty. They specialising in auto electrical and aircon regas and repairs.
Welcome back to Mobile Rolling, and we've spoken about this before. Rocky, one of the names that's synonymous with harness racing is the name Webster, and Ron Webster joins us. Ron, welcome to the show.
Thanks,
Ronnie.
How you doing? All's well.
Yeah. Hey, listen, straight off the bat, we've spoken so many times about the superstars of the Soul King. Ron's dad, Dick, he was the absolute best. Even Jeffrey, your cousins, told me that Dick was always the best, And there's something that slipped through my guard when I was calling the South Australia Oaks this year. Of course, Jake won the South Australia Oaks with Well Said Lucy for Matty Craven. Yeah. You yourself have driven the winner of the Oaks. Yeah. Do you remember what that was?
Horse from Victoria.
The Chosen One, was
Charlie Mitzi had it,
The Chosen One?
Yes.
And of course, Ron's dad, Dick, won the South Australia Oaks on 2 different occasions. Once with Richmond Lass, who went on to win into Dominion. Yeah. And this was before my time, obviously. And the other one was the filly called Scotch Annie. So we've got 3 generations of a family that have won the South Australia Oaks, and I think that's a good effort. So something to be proud of, I think, right?
Oh, yeah. Any race you win, you're happy to win, mate. I'm proud to win anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, that's my first question for you, mate, as well. Like, you had so much time off when things went pear-shaped with prize money and whatever out there, and you were another one of the full-timers, really, Ronnie, and it just got too hard. So you had 11 years between wins when you drove the great Anton Oliver at Pirrie.
And the fire, here's the finish line running it today. Anton Oliver first, second over he's...
But was the feeling still the same, or was it great to win a race again? Or?
Oh, it's exactly the same.
Yeah?
It doesn't matter how big the race, how little the race, you get more stirred up before a bigger race, but you're just as happy to win a race.
Yeah.
It's that's what you're there for. That's the whole plan, is to win. So you go out there and you work on that, and when you get it to happen, you're happy. Get beat, you're disappointed. So.
The boys do tell me, Aaron and Jake, that Ronnie pulled rank that night and said, this horse only goes for me, so I'm on.
I think if you look back at the record, you'll find I normally got the steer on the ones that look like they're going to fall over or something like that.
Third stringers.
They were frightened to chase it out the gate. Or, Dad, you take it for a spin. You let us know. Do that at the trials, boys. No, go to the races. That's normal. What do you expect? Dad's expendable.
You've had a few, like Rocky said, you've had a few changes in direction over the years. I mean, where you started training your horses. I mean, then eventually you went out to Globe Derby at the fodder store. I think you were in business with Jeffrey there and working in partnership with your cousin Jeffrey as far as training and driving was concerned. And tell us about those times.
I started off with Bevan Dimon, a good mate of mine, and we had a few horses at home. Surtax, you probably won't remember, he went to Moonee Valley. I got beat again, I ran second. The horse that won went to Western Australia, I think for about 40 or 50,000, and one of the ones we beat home was Whirly Dream.
Yeah.
But Surtax never worked out to be Whirly Dream, but anyway, so we had him. Then we had a few in between. We'd sort of go to Cow and Kimber. We really concentrated on the size stakes races. That was our plan.
They were good prize money in those days, weren't they?
Yeah, they were $5,000 races, and you're talking about the other side of Cow and Kimber, and nobody went.
Yeah.
So, not that we were better than the country people, but our horses had the competition against one another. So. They got sort of tuned up and as good as they could go, whereas the country guys didn't have many to compete against. They could eventually be better than us, but at the time, so you could sneak up there and win a race for $5, and $5 was a lot of money.
Yeah. And you ended up winning a couple of, we call them Southern Cross finals, but size stakes finals. You won a couple of those.
Yeah, Carina won one. And
Carina Meehan, Mel Star, was it?
Yeah, Mel Star was when I drove for Silk. So they were good sort of races to win. So we did that, then we did the fodder store together at Globe Derby, Jeffrey and I.
Yep.
And we trained a few there, had one for Dennis Brown and a couple of other boys, having a bit of fun. We sold the fodder store and came back to Clemsic, and we worked there for a while. We had Slapses and Carolyn's Lovers, those sort of horses.
Yeah. So when you're at Clemsic, where do you do your fast work there?
That was up at Gazer. And we do our fast work there. Eventually,
it's only like a Wavell sized track, wasn't it? Around 500.
512 or 5 something. It's 3 and a bit laps.
To the mile.
I think if you gunned around there at about 44 or something like that, we're ready to win. So it was, get ready, boys, win biz. It was a terrific little track. But a lot of horses came from it. You had
Jimmy Hurley wasn't there as well.
Hurley, you had Car Clue, you had Minuteman, you had I can't think of the other horse that won in Perth. There's 3 or 4.
Rexall.
That's another one. That's again. So there's 4 or 5 Inter Dominion winners that came out of Clemsic, and if you go up there to have a look at it, you know when it was, you wouldn't be able to believe it. But
is it a set like you're still living next door virtually?
Yeah.
And for me, it was just fabulous to drive past there. You know, you reminisce every time, and I used to go out sometimes on Saturday mornings with Ronnie and have a bit of a look around.
Yeah.
And it was just fantastic. There was always horses there on a Saturday morning. Now it's suburbanised and done up. Do you still look out there and see what you used to do?
Mate? Yeah, it's hard to remember now where all the bits are. I went up the other night, wanted to do something, and we got all the Indians out there, and they all have a barbecue, and it's all good, but no trots anymore, So no track. It's been expanded for the footy, made into more of a park now. You know, I remember Douglas driving around in the water trucks, and that was his job. And everybody, that's how it worked. Manny Sugars to do the track for us, and all those types of things. But it's you gradually lose the people. You know, Brett doesn't do it anymore. Mark doesn't do it anymore. I slowed up. Louis tried to slide up with it. He's one of the last ones there. I think Augie Sugars' lad still does a little bit. Michael might train a couple out of Great Bird, I think now. Yeah. But just don't have the numbers that we had, and that reflects in our fields, reflects in everything.
Yeah. Mate, one of my favourites back in that era was Carolyn's Lover, and she always looked like she could go to the next level, maybe even as close as an Inter-Dominion, but you never got there before she finished. Were you of the same opinion? Were you just waiting for her to find that extra second, because she was pretty good?
Yeah. We were living the dream back in those days, and
everything was going well, wasn't it?
Yep. Carolyn's Lover came on the scene, and Jeffrey was away at the time, and I think he flew in like Saturday morning or something like that. And I rang him and I said, I'll see you at the track Saturday morning. And he said, nah, I'm not coming to the track. What, hobble work? I said, yeah. Nah. He'll just come back from France or wherever he come back from, you know, get away with Jill and Co, you know. And I said, mate, if you don't come back and drive this one, you will never drive it again, because I won't let you back on. And I said, you will hate me forever. Well, you think it's that good? It goes good, I'm telling you. So anyway, so he rocks up, he drives Carolyn's Lover, so goes good. So I think we made a rush trip back from Cow one night to get back. I think she was in the first race, and I was in the size stakes race at Cow. I had to get back for Carol's in the first. So, but anyway, so she went eventually to Victoria. We did the size stakes final over there, what they have. And before we left, we thought a bit of her, and we sort of thought, well, got to go good over there, so let's just make sure we do go good. So we put a pacemaker in front of her, and we ran the 1.5 miles down at Days Road in less than 3 minutes.
Really?
Yep, we're in biz. We've got what we need, we're in biz. So anyway, we went to Melbourne. I think we won a heat and got beat in the other one or whatever it was, but still went okay. We won the heat, and we thought, yeah, that's pretty good. We lobbed the final, and we had every possible chance. Vinny smashed us. I forget the name of the mare, but he smashed us. So, and we knew Vinny, so happened to be talking to Vinny after. I said, Vinny, what's the plans with this filly? What are you going to do? Oh, he said, a couple of MMO fronts, M1, M2s, that sort of thing. He said, that'll be it. She'll retire. I said, you don't think of a bigger future than that? No, he said, that's as far as she'll go. Well, Carol's couldn't keep up with her. So all of a sudden it was a reality check that they really do have to go good before you can sort of start to live the dream. So, but she was good in the fast classes in Adelaide and all that type of thing. And we loved her, and the owners were terrific, and we used to have a ball. But that was Carol's.
Well, mate, before we go, I want you to help me out as well, because on last week's show, I said that Jake's...
here we go, the kiss of death.
Jake has done this unbelievable research and come up with 3 kings, and I've just blown the balloon as big as I can get it, right? Blown it right up. A couple of days later, tailed off at Globe Derby, and I'm just covered in balloon. Right? Tell me it's still a good horse and it's got more wins in it.
I don't want to tell you it's a good horse, but I'll tell you he was sick.
It's sick,
He's sick.
Good.
So,
not good, but...
Yeah, had the blood test. I mean, we were pretty shattered ourselves, but, you know, these things happen. And just went home and thought, well, you know, it's just gone absolutely worse than you could possibly think. So it's got to be something wrong. So done the chase up, and he has been crook. So on the mend now, so he's on a few light days and quite started work this year. We have to wait a couple more days before we can do something with him. But so he is crook. So
good.
Sit off for a while. We'll make a decision after a couple more
One
starts.
thing I want to clear up.
Yes, mate.
I actually sat next to Liz, Ronald's wife, when the race was on.
She knows about it.
Liz is fully aware that she's the owner of the horse. And before the race even finished, Liz said, no, there's something wrong with him. He's better than that. There's something wrong. So she knew that he could go better than that. And that's what we all thought. That, there was something wrong. Ronald's now confirmed that.
Good.
I don't argue with my wife, Jim. I learned a lot of lessons in life and arguing with the wife. You know?
Hey, Ronald, thanks for being part of the show. Yeah, good family history there. And I think that's something minor but very important. 3 generations driving the SA Oaks. I mean, that's something that you really should be proud of, that your family's continued on to be successful, and you've done very well. And yeah, you're a big part of harness racing in South Australia.
Good on you, mate.
As long as the boys enjoy it, mate, we're happy to roll on. So
yeah, for sure.
Good on you.
All right, we'll take a break.
Mate.
Special thanks to Ron Webster.
Pronto United Finance provides a professional, friendly and personalised service, offering competitive consumer lending solutions for whatever your current lifestyle finance requirements may be. We offer secured and unsecured loans for all types of items and occasions, large or small. It might be for a car or motorbike, a boat, a jet ski or caravan, and even horse floats. It might even be for a holiday or wedding. Contact us today, get your pre-approval in place and your mind at ease. Pronto United Finance, putting your personal needs first.
Welcome back to Mobile Rolling. And yes, it is a joke because we're talking about the tipsters panel. We've got Rocky and Bullwinkle. No, Jack Bashara. Jack, welcome back to the show. How are you?
Thanks, Jimmy.
Good on you, Jack.
Now listen, guys, we're going to do something different here, okay? We've tried to get this tipsters thing going, and now I've come up with a plan. And Max Beasley, our man who overrides the situation, Jake, so you've got to get involved. So now it's the 3 of us that are going to do it. And the phone's running hot already. Now they know that I'm in the tipsters panel. But this is how we're going to do it. We're going to take into account the tips that we've already had today so far in the previous 2 programs.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's fair, but if that's what you want to run with.
I'm the adjudicator, so I run the rules, okay? And I had a chat with my good mate Jim Rafferty, and he told me that these rules are okay. All right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take into account the first 2 sessions we've had so far.
Yes.
You don't like that because you're running at a deficit. Well, that's bad luck. You should have tipped better at the start.
True.
So now what we're going to do, we're going to have one horse that we think is a good thing, and another one that we're going to have each way. So
fair enough.
Each week we're going to tip 2 horses for the weekend, and we're going to work it as if we have $20 to win on the special,
right,
and $10 each way on the each way horse.
Yep.
Right. Now the point system will be 3 points at first, 2 points if your horse runs second, 1 point if your horse runs third. Now at the end of the season, we will accumulate the profit loss out of our tips.
Yes.
Now, if there is a profit, you'll get an extra bonus point for every $10 profit.
Right.
So if you make $100 profit out of your tips, you'll get an extra 10 points towards what you've accumulated over the 12 meetings.
Right.
All right?
Okay.
Got that?
Good.
Agree?
Yeah.
Right. I'll sign that off.
Sign that
off.
off.
Now, so here we are. Session 1.
Yep.
Tap the keg.
Yep.
Third, 1 point.
Right.
Major rainbow, second, 2 points.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Now, we can't take into account the betting side of things on those.
No.
All right, at this stage, because we're going to start the betting side from now. The second week, blinding light.
Yep.
0. Futurist, the even money
Win.
even money favourite at $1.40.
140 cents.
Yeah. 3 points. So the tally is Jack Bashara, 5 points in total.
5.
Rocky's on 1.
Yep.
Jimmy's on 0. Right? So we start here. Right. Jack, because you're leading the point scoring,
Right.
let's start the ball rolling.
We'll go
what are you going to do this week?
We go each way, Brohart.
Brohart each way.
Each way. It'll be value.
Okay.
Drawn 1.
Right.
And should be a good place chance each way.
Really well and is going well. Dark and Dapper's going to be too good for Smackwater Jack. Third placing will be ace to play.
Okay.
Second one, a special, Lochinvar Hugo.
Lochinvar Hugo.
Yep.
All right.
Enormous run last week. Ran as good as the winner. Don't know why it got back in the run, but came home in very fast time. And I think in the small field Saturday night, 2,200 metres, a special.
A special.
Special from Jack.
I've got to say, I believe, watching the last 2 starts of Lochinvar Hugo, I think that Dean Girardi has come up with the conclusion that not to use the horse early and come with a late run. And his last 2 runs, like that win when he comes zooming down the outside was fantastic. and he's run against. He stepped up in class, and he's run. Even he was back solidly at the big odds at $51, backed into about $10 or $11, and he's run home strongly again. So I think I'm just guessing. I haven't spoken with Dean, but I'm guessing that's the pattern he's going to be using with Lochinvar Hugo from now on.
Well, he'll be able to be suited in that because there'll be speed from the pole horse, Take My Picture Mister, and he'll just drift back. There's only 7 runners, so 2200. He's doing usual come home late and should run over the top of them. I think this is a good thing.
Okay, Rocky, you may remember last season we interviewed Dean Girardi, and I reckon that was the horse that he said he got from Laura Crossland, was it?
It was.
And the reason that he said he got it so cheap is because Laura believed the horse wasn't putting in, wasn't trying. So I think Dean's worked him out now.
He has. He's done a terrific job, and I love what the horse has done since he's had him.
Yeah. Right, Rocky, what have you got?
My best bet for the week is drawn 7.
Yes. You're adventurous.
Called Arla Tess. I know the owner. He's a good bloke.
Springfield Desire, Chardonnay. Springfield Desire beats Chardonnay. Third.
You're in it, are you?
Yep.
So she's going okay. She's working
going well,
Yeah.
And
so
they're going to bet
information.
around 9-2, but I'm happy to take that as my special.
Right, that's a special. Yep.
She's ready to run a race. And my best each way, I think, is each way forever, is Wayne Hill's Drive Better Have Time. I watched it last week. I had no luck in the run and flashed home along the fence. Currently $5. I think Better Have Time's a really strong each way chance in this race as well.
Yeah, Heather Stevens done a really good job with her horse's preparation. He's going really well. And yeah, he did beat Blinding Light, your big tip from last week, the start before.
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to go with my special race 3, number 9, Hockey Greg. I think the horse has improved since joining the Shane Loon stable.
Yes.
And the win on Tuesday I thought was quite comprehensive in leading.
It's got to go head to head, mate.
Yes, that's okay. That's what we'll do.
That's good.
And my best each way, a horse that I've backed its last 2 starts, I think is ready to win, is race 6, number 4, Cheval's Racer for Sharon Trevine. Ken Rogers in the sulky. Ran very well again last week. The horse is ready to win. And I did watch the horse in the preliminary, and I can see what Ken was trying to do. He was trying to wake the horse up a little bit. Drivers do that, they bowl him along quickly, but it didn't suit the horse. He got a bit fizzy, a bit rippy and a bit fiery. Possibly could have cost him the race because he got a bit rippy in the race as well. And when that horse was dropping back and taking back, Ken had a handful. He just had to go probably earlier than what he wanted to, but the horse ran really well.
Beaten by a good horse called Breeze.
Oh yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's right.
So Hockey Greg is my special and Cheval's Racer as my each way.
work.
So we'll see how we go.
We will. I think I'm going to be in front.
You're going to be in front.
Oh,
of course,
for sure.
of course you're going to be in front. You got a 5-point lead
I'll
already.
be further in front.
Further in front.
Yeah.
All right.
I think you'll be unconscious Sunday morning,
Yeah.
mate.
No, I don't think there's any doubt. I think this is.
Look forward to
week
this
clean up.
competition, Jimmy.
Yes. All right. So that's the Tipsters panel. Jack Lashara, Rocky Butterworth, Jimmy Jakes. That's it for Tipsters. We'll come back with the close shortly.
Hi, I'm Darryl Hall from Tyre Power Cheltenham, where you get the buying power of a huge range of tyre brands. We stock all major big brands: Toyo, Tumo, Mickey Thompson, Maxxis, Michelin. So come down and see me at Tyre Power Cheltenham.
Welcome back to Mobile Rolling. And we're going to finish off our show. Look, Liz is not here with us, Rocky, this week on the panel, as you mentioned earlier. But one thing that Liz wanted us to talk about is the education of people. And she mentioned, what about explaining the difference between Paces and Trotters? So I'll go ahead and do that.
Okay.
So a Pacer is a horse that moves its legs in lateral pairs. So what that means is the left side, lateral, and the right side. So the left side, when the left side goes forward, so it's the front and the rear leg going forward together, the other one goes back. So it's like this as far as the pacing is concerned. So they move their legs in lateral pairs. With the Trotters, they move their legs in diagonal pairs. So what that means is when the front left foot is going forward, the hind right foot goes forward at the same time. So it's diagonal pairs.
Okay.
So when they're going forward, then obviously the right front and the left back are going back.
So what's the natural gait?
Natural gait, I think, for a standard bred, now that the American breeds come in, it might be pacing, but usually the trotting is the natural gait, because usually horses have to be broken into pace, whereas they just trot naturally at a lower speed.
Okay, so then we get your free-legged ones.
The free-legged, well, this is where the American bred comes in, where they just naturally go into a pace, So I think it's fair to say that now in the modern era, probably the natural gait is the pace, where they move their legs in lateral pairs as opposed to trotting in diagonal pairs. And the other thing is that when they gallop, that's like a springing action, where all 4 feet come off the ground at the same time. Not allowed whether you're pacing or trotting. And if you're in a trotting race, you're not allowed to pace. And obviously it's nearly impossible to trot in a pacer's race because they've got the hobbles wrapped around their legs. So there's something for the education side, which Liz wanted me to pass on.
Good. And just before we finish, mate, I'm hearing a few stories out of our ranks that another one of our trainers might be heading off interstate in the next few weeks. Have you heard anything there, or?
No, I might have, but who? Are you allowed to say, or is it embargoed?
I'm guessing, but we might as well throw it out there. I'm hearing that Darren Billinger may be heading up to Queensland.
Oh, yeah, no, I've spoken with Darren. He was looking at the options at Redcliffe.
Right.
And that was appealing to him. He told me that you could purchase a house there for around $350K.
Yeah, that's true.
You can get stables for $20 a week there, only 3/4 of an hour from Albion Park. One of the things that has made him think of that is that where he had his horses stabled at his mum and dad's place. Of course, his dad passed away recently, or not that long ago, and his mum has now sold the property. So now the option is that they've got to find somewhere else to put their horses. He was thinking seriously that Redcliffe was the best option. He's gone up and had a look at some of the options.
Getting fairly serious.
Yeah, so that was something.
That'd be sad to see them go, but he'll be successful. He's a bloody good trainer and had some terrific horses on the journey.
Exactly. We'll get the even money shot futurist up there at Albion Park.
That's it. Too right.
Well, that's it for another Mobile Rolling. Special thanks to Jack Bashar on the tipping team, Rocky Butterworth and myself. And of course, special thanks to Paul Cavallaro and Ron Webster for being our special guests. We'll be back next week on Mobile Rolling.